Okay, let's start with the first part of our given. And if you aren't sure, maybe you want to pause the video and look for yourself first on your sheet. See if you can find where the conditions are being met when we have two angles that are supplementary, what we can use and what conclusion we can make. If you don't need to look, hopefully you're thinking definition of supplementary angles then. That satisfies the conclusion just by what supplementary angles are. Satisfies the conditions, make your conclusion. That's the law of attachment. If you know it satisfies the conditions, go ahead and make your conclusion for it. So what's the conclusion when two angles are supplementary? Your sheet says they'll add up to 180. Their sum, the measure's sum, will be 180 degrees. Now that's the first part. And then if you look, the second part's already a statement of equality. So I don't know that we need to try to make a new conclusion from that. You know, maybe we can do something else, but let's just see if we can already maybe change some things here, use replacement rule, and see if we can't fit this together. So, replacement rule. What can we replace here? Well, if two things are equal, they can replace each other. We've done a lot with like a couple things equal in 180, but I don't have that here. One's 130, the other one's 180. Measure of angle A equals 130. You might actually follow this well because we've done this a lot before getting to proofs. If you know A is 130, plug it in. That's the same as replacement rule. We're going to replace or substitute measure of angle A with 130 degrees right into that second equation. Well, so we're supposed to prove that measure of angle B equals 180. You know that's true. Why? Well, because it has to be equals 50, because it has to be a 50 there to add with the 130 to get 80. But this is a formal proof. We need to formally show that and justify that. So I know that you know it works. Explain why. How do you get from there to the measure of angle B equaling 50 degrees? What could we do to that statement? What we're going to end up doing actually is subtracting the same thing you would do if you were just solving for measure of angle B. And you don't have to write down that we're minusing 130. You don't have to show all that algebra, but that's essentially what we're going to be doing. We're going to subtract 130 from both sides and get 50. Again, that's some fact of arithmetic. You don't have to justify that. We'll just say it's 50. What property, though, says you're allowed to subtract something from both sides? It's the same property that says you can add something to both sides. APE, additive property of equality, and there it is. 4 steps, and we've proven that measure of angle B has to be 50 degrees.